Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is a round 2 test, off-road test of 2 chairs that I've done previously. I think it was around a year ago now. I put the Q500M from Sunrise Medical against the TDX SP2 NB from Invacare, 2 mid-wheel drive power chairs that compete against each other in the market. One of the biggest sort of feedback and something that I noticed at the time was that the Q500M had the more pavement road going tyres and slightly smaller motors, and I truly think that that could have been a massive sort of contributing factor. I will put the link to the video, either it will pop up in the top left or right hand corner and I'll put it in the description, so go and have a look at it and see which one actually comes out on top. This time around we're doing the same 2 chairs. The Q500 now has the larger motors and also the bigger tyres, but I've also brought along 2 other competitors in the market. I've brought along the Permobil M3 Corpus and also the Dietz Sango Advance. Both mid-wheel drive chairs, both would technically be put up against the other 2. We're again in an off-road scenario, dog walk situation, or just your Sunday stroll, but not your stereotypical sort of pavement urban environment, and we're going to see which one, if any, come out best. Okay, so I think we've actually put the chairs through some pretty challenging terrain, especially considering they're not designed or designated as an off-road all-terrain chair. This is just a bit of a test just to prove really, or show or demonstrate what their capabilities are. We've taken them on some dry mud, some grass, some rough, toughed grass, if that's what you call it, a bit of gravel as well. And now for the final test, we are going to put them through a bit of boggy mud. It's a little bit wet as well, hence the reason boggy. I'm not entirely sure any of them are going to make it, but again, thought it worthwhile seeing if any of them do and what the results are. So yeah, let's try it. So the last little test was a little bit of fun more than anything. In most situations, you'd probably avoid boggy and muddy puddles in areas like that. And in this situation, there was plenty of space either side. But I think it's still quite nice to demonstrate and to see how well they actually cope. All of them did manage to make it through. The TDX was the one that actually struggled the most. Now, which is kind of surprising considering last year's video and how well it performed then. The only thing that I would say this time around is that the TDX is the only one that didn't have a built-in gyro or some form of stability program to counteract any resistance in the wheels. The whole idea of a gyro or the ESP in the Permobil is to compensate for any resistance on one side of the chair to try and keep you in a straight line. What we found actually with the TDX was that as soon as we went in, or as soon as Richard went into the boggy area, the right hand tyre, which is where the majority of that puddle and that mud was, dragged and pulled the chair round, preventing it from going a straight line, and essentially the second time we tried it, it span. So it span and sort of took Richard back into the mud. The others performed really well, and I'm not saying that's the only reason why they did so, but I would like to think that it did contribute somewhat. The same situation with the TDX actually going through the sand. It didn't perform very well at all. That could be programming, that could be the gyro. I think overall, the one that actually came out on top was the Q500M, which again is quite funny. Just goes to show what larger tyres and bigger motors does. The Q500 had the largest, widest tyres out of all of the chairs, and the tyres themselves are also pneumatics. So there was that shock absorption, which meant that the actual tyre itself could spread out and create a bigger surface area and more grip when you're going over the looser terrain. So it actually did really well. I think both myself and Richard agreed that the M3 and the Sango Advanced performed in similar ways. The Sango Advance, considering its narrower main drive wheels, I think was super comfortable, and the actual drive of it was so soft. It did really, really well, and that's in its absolute standard configuration. There's no, on terms of performance-wise, there's no price increase. There's no additional extras there. So the Sango did superbly. The M3, very comfortable, very smooth. and high performing. So all in all, I think it's nice to see the chairs doing so well in this environment. But if I was actually probably to put them in order now, I don't know where I'd put them. I think, well, maybe it would be the Q500. I would say the Q500 and the M3 at the top, Sango Advanced just underneath, and unfortunately the TDX below. Again, loads of factors. I'm sure lots of people will say that there are different options and different ways of doing it, but as an outright test, that's what we found. Hopefully it was enjoyable to watch or informative to watch, and it might even make your decision easier, I don't know. But thank you very much for watching. If you did like the video, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. We are trying to do more and more of these videos, so please let us know how we get on and whether or not you want to see or what else you want to see. Thank you very much.